If I say duck, duck.
We are here in Burlington in the backyard of Troy Headrick and Marianne DiMascio, and this is a giant slingshot.
That was a good one. People come over and they say, oh, okay, so yeah, Troy's got a big slingshot in his backyard, but it is surprisingly fun.
And Troy took a dead tree from Centennial Woods, turned it into this beautiful work of art, giant slingshot.
I think I've had a lot of kind of obsessions over the years.
Well, there's also many other moments when he'll come home and say, oh, I think we should build a tree house. We can zip line into our yard, or I'm thinking of building a stone wall, or any number of projects. So it's hard not to get excited about that stuff.
I'm just gonna shoot an apple and then I don't have to go find it. Squirrel food, deer food, maybe bear food. So when you're shooting, you want to kind of get low so you can kind of clear it. So this is kind of the winter of quarantine. We're all in our homes and I wanted a project. So we live right on Centennial Woods. I would be walking Rizzo, my dog, down the path. I would walk past it every day and it was just this beautiful large fork. It was just begging me to turn it into a slingshot, a large slingshot. Extra large slingshot. So I've always kind of enjoyed working with my hands, mostly with stone, but I had never done any wood carving or anything. My neighbor has a chainsaw, so he walked down there with me and he cut it down. We put it on a dolly and my brother was pushing it with the dolly and I was holding the forks. And we got it into my basement. I just kind of looked at it for maybe a week or two to start figuring out what I was gonna do with it. I went out and grabbed as many small forks of maple as I could to make prototypes. I've got a right-handed one and a left-handed, my brother's left-handed. And then I made 4 more and sent them down to my brother who lives in Connecticut. He's got 3 sons. I don't know if that makes me a really good uncle or a really bad uncle.
Back to the story.
These prototypes that I was just learning how to shape wood and learning how to turn my vision of what this should look like into actually what it becomes. Everybody's gonna think, that's not a very big slingshot. You were saying that there was a giant slingshot.
And then was painting it and his vision was that it looked like a giant child's toy, which was just really stunning.
As soon as the ground thawed, we got it in place and it's been a blast ever since.
Before the first slingshot went off, I chose Eye of the Tiger by Survivor because it just felt like it was this big moment, almost a comeback moment. And we just laughed and laughed. It was very joyous. During the pandemic, after it was built, it was safe for us. We could be outside at a distance, so it was something fun to do. But then once people round the corner in our yard and they see it and they're like, whoa.
Squats down, squats, squats to the more, squats, squats, watch it.
It's so much fun. Just a release of sheer power.
How does it feel?
That's pretty liberating.
It is so much fun. I don't know why. I don't know why.
It surprises them with just how much fun it is to see these things go launching 200 feet.
You're gonna try it and you're gonna see, and I'll take a video of it so then you can see the joy in your face.
Go back as far as you can. So we're fortunate to have about, I guess, 3/4 of an acre right on Centennial Woods, and we shoot this into our, what is it, technically our side yard.
I got it.
We have an old set of bocce balls, so I started shooting those, and those fly really, really well.
So we took balloons and we put water in and then bird seed and then put it in the freezer.
So now I can just launch it and the birds will get a little treat. Ah! I hit the fork.
Here's how I feel. Like, we know how some things fly. We're not physicists, but I think it would be really fun to experiment with different things. I bought a child's bouncy ball because that's gonna shoot really different than an apple.
First time shooting this, just a bouncy ball. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's pretty light. Yeah, this was certainly inspired by a trip to Lemon Fair, which is a sculptural park down by Middlebury.
What they did with the outdoors and the landscape, it was beautiful, and now we have something like that. But it's also functional. Art that's functional.
I wanted it to look kind of sculptural too, so that when it's not being used to fire things, it looks pretty. All right.
This was not my pandemic hobby or skill that I developed, but I sort of felt like I was support or behind the scenes or saying yes to different pieces. But I have gotten so much joy out of shooting things off of that.
Tell me about your mustache. Tell me about, what are you doing? You're going somewhere?
The National Beard and Mustache Championships are coming up September 11th. I think I've always been pretty expressive with what I put out there, style-wise. I don't like to look ordinary.
Now I'm going to try the Slingshot for myself, and we will get stuck in Vermont with you again really soon. Oh, jeez. That was a good one. That was really fun. It went like whoosh.
Oh yeah.
You know, the closest thing I probably played with was one of those paddle balls. Hey, Troy, take note, can you make a giant paddle ball game?
That'd be cool.
That would be amazing.